Happy Halloween, fam, and in today's profile we have a Halloween edition deck profile. I call it Shadow Ghoul Beatdown. Let's go. For the skill card we have Shadow Reborn. For monster lineup we've got 3 Shadow Ghoul, 3 Decode Cheat, 3 Cyber Phoenix, 3 Cyber Dragon, and 2 Jinzo. For spells we've got 3 Future Fusion, 3 Disposable Learner Device, 3 Soul Exchange, and 3 Book of Moon, and 1 Overload Fusion. Then for traps we have 1 A Hero Emerges, and 2 Psychic Shockwave. For the extra deck we've got 3 Chimera Tech Overdragon, and 3 Cyber End Dragon. How to win / strategies. Now before we go over the game plan, fam, let's review these 3 cards, starting with the skill card first. And I know that a lot of you probably already know what Shadow Reborn does, but the community is growing, fam, so this is more so for the newer players to know what this skill does, okay? So it reads, activate this skill during your main phase once per duel. You can pay half your life points and special summon 1 monster from either graveyard, but your opponent takes no battle damage this turn. On to the next, Shadow Ghoul. Gains 100 attack for each monster in your graveyard. And then last but not least, Disposable Learner Device. The equipped monster gains 200 attack for each monster in your graveyard. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there from the field this turn, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Disposable Learner Device once per turn. Now, I actually really like this equip spell, fam, because I'm going to show you very soon why. And now that we've reviewed all 3 cards, let's move on to the strategies. Now, imagine that this is the scenario, fam. We went first, we activated Future Fusion, we set a monster in 2 back row, and it's now the opponent's turn. They set a back row and activate their Night Beam, and the card that they're gonna hit is this one. Now this card happens to be Disposable Learner Device, and this is why I like this card so much, fam, because as we reviewed earlier, the card says here during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there from the field this turn, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. So essentially, fam, we had just used this card as bait for the opponent to waste their back row removal cards. It's Halloween, baby. We just tricked the opponent. But continuing on with the scenario here, after the opponent's Night Beam, they decide to end their turn. So it's the end phase. Well, guess what? We get this card right back. And now it is our turn. So we're going to go to the standby phase. Future Fusion's going to trigger. And we're going to reveal Chimera Tech Overdragon. Now, we're going to be pitching at least 1 Cyber Dragon and however many machine monsters you want. So just for this scenario, let's pitch everything except 1 Jinzo. Okay? So there you go. And now, look what else is in our hand, fam. Oh, the Shadow Ghoul. So now we will tribute our monster, but before tributing, why not flip it face up? It's the Kochi, so let's draw that 1 card. And now we will tribute it for Shadow Ghoul. And now let's do some math, fam. We have how many monsters in the graveyard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 1,000 extra attack points to Shadow Ghoul. So Shadow Ghoul is at 2,600. But don't forget, fam, we've got this Disposable Learner Device. Trick or treat. It's treat time. And it says here, the equipped monster gains 200 attack for each monster in your graveyard. So that's 200 times 10, 2,000. So Shadow Ghoul will now gain an extra 2,000 attack, making it to 4,600 attack. Wow, that's the stuff of nightmares. Perfect for Halloween. And there you go, fam. This is the prime strategy right here. It's all about Shadow Ghoul, beefing it up to astronomical attack strength. And who knows, what if you were to have all 3 disposable learner devices on it, or even 2 on it? Oh, that's some crazy attack. And then obviously, fam, if the opponent had a back row ready for us, like example right here, Floodgate Trap Hole, we'd have Psychic Shockwave ready. But wait, fam, what if we only had Future Fusion and no Shadow Ghoul in hand? What are we to do? Well, Let me show you. Let me reset the field. Okay fam, the field has been reset and here's the new scenario. We don't have Shadow Ghoul, but we did have Future Fusion. So in that scenario fam, I still want you to activate it, okay? So we did just that. The opponent on their turn set a card face down and ended their turn, so it's back to us. So now I still want you to go for Chimera Tech Overdragon, because here's the cool thing about Chimera Tech Overdragon fam. We can still manipulate just how many materials we want to send, right? Well, I'm going to do just one Cyber Dragon, and it says on Chimera Tech's text here that it has to be at least Cyber Dragon and at least one monster. So we can do just that. It's up to you. But in this scenario, I'm just gonna send away this one Jinzo. Now the reason why I'm doing this fam is because we have the skill card Shadow Reborn. So just keep that in mind, okay fam? So we just pitched our materials and now we're just gonna pass. Well, the opponent decides to just set another card face down and pass again. So now it's our turn. Now this goes without saying fam, please read your cards and play them carefully, because especially with Chimera Tech Overdragon, when this thing gets summoned, all the other cards that we control go to the graveyard. So you're probably asking, so Speed Duel bro, why did we just do that? Well, remember fam, we're all about fueling the graveyard. So here we go, Chimera Tech is gonna destroy everything and itself because it's linked to Future Fusion. But due to Shadow Reborn being on our side, we now can activate it and bring back the Jinzo that we had pitched from the previous turn. So you see fam, this right here can be game breaking on its own. So as you can see fam, even if we just have Future Fusion in our hand but no Shadow Ghoul, I still recommend go ahead and activate Future Fusion and start pitching stuff from your deck to the graveyard so that we can make the most out of Shadow Reborn and whatever the situation may be. And hey, if you wanted, you could also activate Disposable Learner Device on any of the monsters in this deck. I mean, of course it was meant to be for Shadow Ghoul, but of course we can equip it to Jinzo too, or whoever. So yeah fam, this is primarily the two main strategies for this deck. It's with Future Fusion and Shadow Ghoul, or just Future Fusion and then just sending strong monsters from your deck to the graveyard so that we can Shadow Reborn them. And I want to mention though that with the scenario of Future Fusion and Shadow Ghoul fam, make sure you kind of have everything in place to make sure that you have game, because if the opponent somehow survives the Shadow Ghoul onslaught and then come our turn, oh, Future Fusion is gonna wipe everything out because of Chimera Tech Overdragon. But the deck has been built fam, wherein even if we were to lose everything on our side of the field, the deck has been built so that we can grind it out with the opponent. So we should be just fine. Card analysis, the skill card Shadow Reborn. I think this is a good skill for this particular deck fam, because as shown earlier, we can reborn the strong monsters, or we can just reborn a monster just so we can tribute it away for Shadow Ghoul. And then we play the 3 Shadow Ghoul, the main, or at least I'd like to think it's the main boss monster of the deck. And funny story fam, back then when I was younger, me and my friend dueled, he brought this out on me and I was like, at the time, oh my gosh, how do I defeat this thing? Because it had reached up to like 2800 attack. So it traumatized me in a way. So that's why for this Halloween, I wanted Shadow Ghoul to be the main star. And thanks to Speed Duels and the card pool that we currently have, yeah, we can also traumatize the opponent the way Shadow Ghoul traumatized me. And then we play the 3 Dakochi and the 3 Cyber Phoenix. Now, the main focus of these 2 monsters fam is they're going to help us draw cards, and if we're lucky enough for them to live long enough on the field, we can also use them as tribute fodder. And don't forget fam that Cyber Phoenix has that built-in protection effect for the machines, so it's just stuff that's good to know. But yeah, these 2 monsters here is to help us get the deck moving along a little bit faster. And then we play the 3 Cyber Dragon. As you all know, it's good for applying offensive pressure for baiting out back row, but in this particular deck, is to help us fuel our graveyard through Future Fusion so that Shadow Ghoul can become as strong as it can be. And then we play the 2 Jinzo. For me fam, this just works because, you know, most of our monsters are machine, and if we have a beefed up Shadow Ghoul but the opponent may have some back row, well, Jinzo will just help us seal the deal. And then we play the 3 Future Fusion, as mentioned and shown earlier, fam. Future Fusion is all about supporting Shadow Ghoul's attack points. And not only just that, but the more monsters we have, the better, because of Disposable Learner Device. And then we play 3 of the Disposable Learner Device, fam, because the more attack strength, the better, and the fact that it's basically Shadow Ghoul in spell card form. So it just fits the overall theme. And don't forget, the reason why I like this card a lot is because we can use it as back row bait on the opponent, because we'll get this thing back like no problem. And then we play the 3 Book of Moon. All of you already know, fam, that Book of Moon is great, universal utility at its finest. We can shut down the opponent's monster, or we can dodge the opponent's back row. And then we play the 3 Soul Exchange. Now this is self-explanatory, I feel. The fact that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tributes. So Soul Exchange will help us have better control on the field because we'll be tributing away the opponent's monster. And then we play the 1 Overload Fusion. Now this is just a tech choice, fam, and should Shadow Ghoul fail us, well, at least we have all the fusion materials for another overpowered Chimera Tech Overdragon. And then we play the 1 A Hero Emerges. Now this, fam, is also another tech choice. Now I was debating whether to make this like a Shield Crush or Awaking the Dragon. So honestly, fam, you can choose whatever card you want. I just felt like A Hero Emerges is okay because, again, we're running 8 tributes, and granted, you know, we only need 1 tribute, but still, we still can be susceptible to a bricky hand. So maybe A Hero Emerges might help in that scenario. And then we play the 2 Psychic Shockwave, and the reason why we play 2 is because we've got 2 Jinzo. And then as for the extra deck, fam, this is self-explanatory, okay? 3 Chimera Tech, 3 Cyber End. Now, it's very unlikely that we'd bring out Cyber End, but it's there just in case. Now, it's time for the moment of truth, fam. Where does this ghoulish deck stand on the power scale? In my humble opinion, this deck is casual. Now, the reason why I say it's casual, fam, is because the deck kind of needs time to set up and build up, especially because of Future Fusion. And not only that, we don't really have a draw engine. Yeah, we have a mini draw engine from Dekochi and Cyber Phoenix, but it's not really a true draw engine. But nevertheless, this deck is still very fun and capable because our machines can hold it down, and it's always great to unleash the nightmare of Shadow Ghoul on the opponent, especially on this Halloween night. But as a gentle reminder, fam, as with my casual decks, don't expect too much from it, just have fun with it, alright? So there you go, fam, that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please feel free to hit the like button because it helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed to me, your Speed Duel bro, you're more than welcome to subscribe because 2 things. 1, I always play to win, and I'll teach you how to win. And 2, if you love Speed Duels, I'm sure you'll love me too, your Speed Duel bro. And I just want to say again, happy Halloween, fam. Stay safe out there, whether you're going to a party or you're gonna go trick-or-treating with your families. Just don't get Shadow Ghouled, okay? Alright, fam, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.